What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Nio. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what shorts did, as well as what came out to really get institutions so excited about Nio today. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So starting off, Nio did go up 0.61%. I know it doesn't sound like all that much, but given there was a massive pullback in the broader market today, definitely, I think that's kind of a positive and a win for today. Very volatile today though, 481 the low, $5 is the high. So it bounced off of a very strong support. So I'll talk on that in a second once I go over the technicals. 36.6 million shares were traded today, 57.5 is the average. Normally in Nio's case, institutions kind of just overlook Nio and just a lot of the volume being done is linked to algorithmic trading. Today was completely different. So you saw a lot of institutions paying attention to it. 1.53, 1.53, 5.7 million. So quite a lot of transactions. So institutions were, like I said, very interested in Nio. Even shorts though, shorts did return about 1.53 million shares. And this is why I like to analyze this, because by them returning and it being a green day kind of shows and validates it overall today. But 12.08% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 159.75 million shares overall being shorted. Cost of borrow average 1.27, and then utilization 77.36. So pretty interesting day. And with all of that said, there was no official news from Nio today, no SEC filings, nothing like that. So it was more so piggybacking off of somewhat the optimistic data that came out, as well as a analyst rating. So I'm going to talk on both. Starting off with that new rating. So it does show as yesterday, but it came out first thing this morning. Bank of America, Ming, who does have a 23% success rating. So not the most successful, but clearly by them giving a 590 price target, that's clearly a lot higher than where Nio is at right now. So more upside is anticipated, similar to what happened over the last couple ratings. So 1040 and then 770. And while I'm actually on Interactive Brokers, just to give you a quick overview of what the current Elliott Wave technicals are indicating, it does have a pivot point of $5.40. So right now it is below that. And for as long as it is below that, then it is anticipated to get kind of between that 350 range-ish. So mid threes, not necessarily the best, but hopefully with some positive momentum and it bouncing off of that very strong support today, it can get above that 540, on which it would be anticipated to get between that 6 to mid sixes. So I think there's more upside, and once I go over the options, it'll kind of mimic exactly what is anticipated. On a side note, if you're looking for a lot of good compiled information and all this to be completely free, take a look at Interactive Brokers, link in the description below and also the comments. But moving on from here, like I said, there was no official news from Nio, but this did come out really hyping up Nio. So China reportedly allocates $830 million for solid state battery R&D, benefiting companies like BYD and blah, 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 even Nio. So in Nio's case, the cost of their battery has been one thing that a lot of people haven't necessarily liked. So in reality, this, especially when it's being allocated for R&D, is a very positive thing. So the market absolutely loved both things, probably this more so than the rating, especially considering that Analyst only had a 20-something% rating. So I think in reality, this is a good thing, and hopefully a lot more of these grants and whatever else is going to be coming down the pipeline, especially for 2024. Moving on to options. So 1.73 million in calls, 2.77 in puts. Dollar value wise in comparison to the last several trading days is a little bit lower. So again, something to kind of just monitor. But aside from that though, 46% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish. And of the call options that were purchased today, there's consensus for it to be above $5 for this week and possibly $5.50 for next week. And then looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub roughly $5 to $4.50 by the end of next week. So next week's going to be a very big divide. People clearly betting on extreme moves, either $5.50 or $4.50. We'll just have to wait and see. But as far as this week, it seems to be as though more upside is anticipated. So hopefully it does get above that 540 range, and then that's where the Elliott Wave technicals will come into play. On the actual chart itself, so with it closing at $4.93, it is trading between this R1 and this R2. So 482 is going to be that next strong support, and in fact it did bounce off of that. So going into the next couple of days, we at least know that is kind of a diamond support level. So once again, like I said, generally when it comes down to technicals, it bouncing off of a very strong support. It consolidates, especially in either direction. So this is where you could see a nice push higher, especially if institutions do continue their level of buying. And yeah, so I think that might be a good thing. Aside from that, $5.10 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. Nio would have been up a lot more if the broader market was somewhat even neutral, if not a little bit green. So that kind of didn't really help Nio all that much, but still Nio was going against the tide, if that makes sense. And so yeah, I think generally today was a pretty good positive. Aside from all of that though, still above that 50-day moving average. So generally always a good thing, at least for the short term, but still lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. Stochastic, as of today, you start to see a nice bullish deviation, very minor, but with it also at 9, it is considered very oversold. So if there is a good piece of news specific to Nio, this is where you could see a very big rush of value investors. But keep in mind, with today being the 29th, it's only a couple days away until we do get May numbers. And similar to, assuming they're good, similar to what happened last month, you will see a very big bump up in the stock price. So that once again, you might see some FOMO probably kicking into it the next couple days. So let me know your thoughts on the May numbers. I think the preliminary just estimates are that EV is growing on a larger scale. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Number of retail investors have been getting in today. So you can tell that based on the momentum indicator. So today was a very unique day because algorithmic trading kind of just, they didn't really pay attention to Nio. You had institutions and as well retail both buying at the same time. So let me know your thoughts on Nio. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 7 fractional shares of the 𝗪𝗧𝗛. So this is a pretty kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.